Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're doing alright. In this video we'll be talking about perspective, and I covered the 1-point perspective in a previous video. Be sure to check it out. I recommend looking at it just in case if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But in this video mostly I'll be talking about the 2-point perspective. I'll be covering most of that here. And the 3-point perspective, I'll be covering it in a future video. So let's get to it. So in the last video, when we talked about 1-point perspective, we mentioned that there is something called a vanishing point, or VP as I like to call it. Vanishing point that could be anywhere in the center, right? And there are lines stretching out from it, like so. And you can draw as many lines as you want. I usually like to draw maybe like 10 or 12. This. And you can draw your your lines and your vanishing point anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the middle, it could be anywhere you'd like. And right now this is a 1-point perspective where we're all looking through this one center, right? But 2-point, which is what we'll be covering in this video, well, it will look something like this. Where we have two vanishing points now, hence the name 2-point perspective. So we have one vanishing point here and one vanishing point here. Now, when it comes to environments or landscapes or drawing images in spaces in a background, we have to always remember where is the horizon line. Now, what is the horizon line? Well, for example, let's take this picture here. This is a random picture I found, and the horizon line is basically where the sky and the land meet. So the horizon line would be right here, right there. You see where the ocean ends right here, and this is the sky, and the sky ends right about here. So that line that you're seeing, the very far line, that is called the horizon line. And another important thing to know about the horizon line is it can actually change the view or the angle of where you're looking, depending on how high or how low your horizon line is. So, for example, if the horizon line is up here, it means that we're looking down, like an aerial view or an aerial shot, like this picture right here. But if the horizon line was down here, for example, we would be looking up. It means that we'd be looking up into the clouds or the sky. To illustrate this, I found other pictures to explain that. Take this picture for example. The horizon line is up here now, just like the previous picture, and you can definitely see more of the ground and less of the sky. As for this picture, now this is different because now the horizon line is all the way down here. Here where we can see all the trees and grass. The horizon line is all the way down there. So it's pretty obvious that we're looking towards the sky. And lastly, we have this picture where the horizon line is just right about in the middle. So that puts the viewers right in the middle where we see a bit of the sky and a bit of the ground. So fairly even. We're like as if we are standing in the fields here. And most pictures and most environments is like drawn in this manner. Back to our frame here. We're going to draw our horizon line. So if I have my 2-point perspective here and I have two vanishing points, I'd say I'm gonna put my horizon line, just for the sake of this video, I'll put it right in the middle here. There, that is our horizon line, the purple. Now how do we draw objects in 2-point perspective? Well, just like in the previous video, for example, we're going to draw a box here. But now that we have 2-point perspectives, we have to follow 2 lines, not just from one vanishing point. We have to follow 2 vanishing points. So for example, I want to draw a box in the middle here. Right about here. In 2-point perspective, only the vertical line is parallel. Like so. In the last video, both vertical and horizon lines are always parallel, if you remember. But in this in 2-point perspective, that's different now. Now, only the vertical line is parallel to each other. Say I'll draw it here. Let's say there. And just like that, we have our box. Pretty simple. The only difference is that we follow 2 lines now instead of 1, leading to 2 vanishing points, and only the vertical lines are parallel. So this vertical line, and this are always parallel. Let's draw another shape. Let's draw one right here. Again, I'm following these lines. This time we'll draw a circle because I don't believe I've drawn a circle in perspectives, even in the last video. So drawing circles is much easier than drawing a cube or square. So to draw a circle, we just need to draw 2 lines. We draw the first circle. Then we draw the second circle. So now that you've seen how I've drawn shapes and objects in a 2-point perspective, let's try and draw something else, a full picture or an environment in 2-point perspective like we did in the other video. Another important thing to note is to always have your 2 points or your 2 vanishing points, have them very far apart. Always give some space, a large gap between them. Why? Well, for example, if we were to draw a shape or an object here, and for example, I'm going to put this vanishing point here, I'm going to move the one on the left farther, just like that. So if I were to draw a square, for example, while both vanishing points are far from each other, the square or the cube would end up fairly looking normal. just like so. See? But what happens if we move both vanishing points close to each other? Too close. So if I were to move this one here, and this one over here, now if I were to draw a square again, it would look something like this, where it's pretty obvious it looks stretched. It would look pretty much distorted. If you see here, this corner, it's outstretching because we have these two vanishing points too close to each other, thus creating this awkward close-up, if you will, or this weird distortion. So for this drawing, I'm thinking of drawing something big, something bigger than the last one. So first I'm going to start with the horizon, which is a very good start, and I'm thinking of drawing a building. So I'm going to start with the horizon line like about 3/4 or 1/3, right about here. So we're looking mostly up and we're seeing a little bit of the ground here. So I'm thinking the vanishing points, one here and one here. Just say VP1 and VP2. Alright, and now that we have our vanishing points, I'm going to go ahead and draw our building, and always remembering that only the vertical lines here are parallel. We'll draw a door right about here. And we have our windows here. And lastly, we will draw the roof. So a cool trick I've learned to find the center or the middle of a surface or a face, like for example this side, like if we want to find the middle of this side of the building, is we connect the corners like so, and where the X meets, that is where the middle of that wall is. That is the center, or the other half. This makes two halves of that wall. So if we do it on this side, we connect these corners here, we draw an X, and where they meet, that is the middle of the wall there. So for example, draw the this. And there we go. And here we have our building. Well, I hope you found this video entertaining and useful, and hopefully you've learned something in this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, take care.